The multi-billion-dollar market for AI developer environments just got a new, massive entrant, threatening incumbents overnight. This isn't just a new feature. This is Google dropping a nuclear-powered agent into the heart of enterprise software development, forcing every investor tracking the AI infrastructure arms race to recalibrate their models.
Welcome to DeepResearchGlobal.com podcast.
As an industry analyst here at DeepResearchGlobal.com, I'm examining the launch of Google's new agentic development platform, Antigravity. It's powered by their flagship model, Gemini 3. And my mission today is to unpack why this platform represents, well, maybe the biggest paradigm shift since the IDE itself was introduced.
That's absolutely right. You see, historically, we've watched this battle play out on the margins.
Better autocomplete, right? Better chat functions.
Exactly. This is different. My analysis suggests anti-gravity positions the agent not as an assistant, but as the engine of development.
Okay, so let's unpack that core engine. Antigravity. It's Google's new experimental platform. For our listeners, what exactly is it? And crucially, what model is really driving its capabilities?
Antigravity is essentially the testing ground for what they call an agent-first future. It's a platform for building and managing autonomous agents that write, test, and debug code.
Okay.
And importantly, for broad adoption, Google isn't locking it down. They've made it available in a free public preview
For everyone.
Mac, Windows, and Linux, with what they call generous rate limits for the most critical component, Gemini 3 Pro.
So the key isn't really the interface. It's the horsepower under the hood. You've been tracking these performance metrics for Gemini 3 Pro. The numbers seem staggering, but for someone who doesn't track these benchmarks daily, how do we translate them? What does 76.2% on SW Bench Verified actually mean?
This is where the investment case becomes really compelling. SWE Bench Verified tests a model's ability to generate production-ready code. It's fixing real-world software bugs from places like GitHub. Hitting 76.2% it's monumental.
So it's not just suggesting a line of code.
No. It means the agent is demonstrating the capacity to generate an entire, complex, multi-file ticket fix, verify it works, and push it through with minimal human intervention.
So we're moving from the AI saving a developer 5 minutes of typing to the AI saving them an entire afternoon of debugging.
Precisely. And that requires more than just coding skill. It requires reasoning.
Right.
Which is why the second metric is just as important. Gemini 3 Pro scored a record 37.5% on humanity's last exam.
Which tests, what, PhD-level knowledge.
Exactly. Complex, abstract reasoning. You need that to understand large code bases, to infer user intent, and to manage these multi-step tasks.
It sounds like Google's chief AI architect wasn't exaggerating when they talked about moving toward an agent-first future.
Not at all. The traditional IDE was built for humans typing line by line. This agent-first paradigm completely flips that.
So now the developer becomes more of an architect.
Yes. Delegating entire projects, build me a checkout page that connects to this API, and the agent handles the complexity. That's the critical market shift investors need to recognize.
Okay, the power is clear, but enterprise software. It runs on trust, security, and auditability. When we talk about autonomous agents, the biggest hurdle has always been, how do I trust code that I didn't see being written?
And how do I audit it? Yes.
So how has Google engineered anti-gravity to overcome these trust and control issues?
This is where we move from just horsepower to what I'd call investment-grade innovations. They've addressed this through two core mechanisms. The first is the artifact system.
Artifacts.
Yeah.
Tell us what they are and why they matter more than just a simple log file.
Well, artifacts are essentially verifiable deliverables. Previous agent tools, they often just gave you a raw dump of tool calls, which is too technical to parse.
Or just the final code with no context.
Right. Neither approach works in regulated industries. Anti-gravity's agents produce artifacts that are structured and easy for a human to validate.
So instead of just the finished website, what does the agent actually deliver?
It delivers the proof of work. This includes things like its initial task lists, the detailed implementation plans, screenshots of the progress. Screenshots, and, critically, browser recordings. The agent verifies its own work by running the application inside an integrated Chrome browser and showing you a walkthrough.
Wait. So the agent creates its own audit trail and regression test video as it codes.
Exactly. This level of built-in validation fundamentally increases enterprise auditability. You can trace every decision. For anyone in compliance, this is the key that unlocks agent adoption.
Okay, that handles the trust factor.
Yeah.
What about control? If I have multiple agents working on a complex project, how do I manage that? How does a developer maintain oversight?
That brings us to the second core innovation, mission control. This is their agent-first manager surface, and it's crucial for enterprise deployments.
So it's less a coding window and more of a control dashboard.
That is a perfect analogy. You're not doing the work anymore, you're orchestrating the team.
Like going from a screwdriver to a robotic assembly line.
Yes. Mission control is the central hub for spawning, orchestrating, and observing multiple agents working asynchronously.
In parallel.
In parallel, across multiple workspaces. The human sets the high-level mission, and the agents report back their progress and artifacts to that central panel.
That really does flip the traditional IDE paradigm. The agent becomes the central point of control.
It's a massive cultural and functional shift, and the system has to be trainable.
How does that work?
Developers can steer the agent with, get this, Google Docs-style comments directly on the artifacts or screenshots.
So you could highlight a button in a recorded video and just type, change this to blue.
Exactly, and that feedback loop is critical. The agent doesn't just execute, it keeps an internal knowledge base. It learns from that feedback over time.
Okay, that covers the user experience. Now let's zoom out. What does this launch actually do to the competitive landscape? This is a huge shot fired in the AI developer war.
It's a direct and, I would say, immediate threat to every incumbent. And the way Google did it is just strategically brilliant. Antigravity is a fork of Microsoft's open source VS Code.
Oh, wow. So they completely sidestepped the painful onboarding curve?
Completely. It's like selling a revolutionary new engine that drops right into the most popular car chassis on the market.
Instant familiarity. All the plugins just work.
Exactly. Millions of programmers already use VS Code. So the adoption path is incredibly smooth. This puts immense pressure on rivals like Cursor, which currently dominates that niche AI IDE market.
Right.
Cursor built its user experience from the ground up, but now Google is offering a more powerful agent. Inside the environment, developers already know.
That's a huge advantage. But here's the part that I find fascinating, and I want your take on the risk. It's a multi-model ecosystem. They support not just Gemini 3 Pro, but also Anthropic's Claude and OpenAI's open-weight models.
I view this multi-model flexibility as a brilliant strategic move.
But doesn't it dilute their advantage? Aren't they basically funding their competitors by letting big companies deploy Claude through their platform?
It's a calculated risk, but the benefit outweighs it. For massive enterprises, the fear of vendor lock-in is, well, it's paramount. If Google forces them to only use Gemini, the platform is a non-starter for companies with existing contracts elsewhere. By offering choice, Google positions Antigravity as the standard orchestration layer.
The mission control platform.
Right. Regardless of the underlying LLM, they're sacrificing model exclusivity to win control of the entire workflow.
So they're betting the agent framework and the auditability, that those are more valuable than the API calls themselves.
Precisely. They're establishing the platform standard. And you just cannot ignore Google's sheer scale advantage here.
The scale is undeniable. We're talking about a company with, what, over 650 million monthly Gemini users.
650 million. That massive reach means Google can leverage its existing enterprise relationships to position Antigravity as the default choice for standardization.
It's a battle for the enterprise developer's desktop.
And Google just supplied a tool that not only surpasses the competition in intelligence, but also solves the trust and control issues that are required for large-scale adoption. The threat is existential for smaller players.
So my final thought for you, the listener, is this. Antigravity's launch signals a definitive shift in the market. The battle for the enterprise developer is now moving from simple autocomplete to full autonomous agent orchestration.
I agree. This focus on verifiable work through artifacts, plus multi-model choice and that immense scale, makes Antigravity a critical platform to watch. It presents huge opportunities for infrastructure providers and equally significant risks for established developer tool companies who can't make that leap.
It changes the entire conversation around developer return on investment.
Indeed. It forces every company to ask, are my developers still typing, or are they now managing an AI factory?
Thank you for listening. Subscribe to deepresearchglobal.com for more latest business news briefs, company analysis, and investment insights.